This is Boxing Tickets NI in association with SB Sports. We're here at the Cameron Taylor 2 press conference. We're sort of going the right way around here. Obviously, politically wise, it's more Taylor Cameron, but obviously the Cameron Taylor 2 presser. Delighted to be joined with the bomber, Thomas Carty. I guess for me, obviously, I was looking forward to watching your fight a couple of weeks ago in Dublin, and unfortunately the card was cancelled. But I guess you haven't had too much time to sort of dwell on sort of things, and obviously you're going to fight in this card again, but you would obviously like to have a fight in between both cards.
No, absolutely. I was really looking forward to fighting at the RDS myself. We had a lot of tickets sold, a lot of people travelling from all over the world. Unfortunately, it fell through, but the plan was always to be straight back in the gym training for November 25th. I knew I'd be on this card again, so it was always the plan to start training immediately again. So the plan continues on as the same without the fight on September 16th. Hopefully I might get a run out between now and November 25th. Who knows, fingers crossed. I'd be open to it. I did it last time. Activity is key for me, and stay as active as possible. So I'd like to get 4 in before the end of the year. November 25th, being the last fight, hopefully one before then. I wouldn't like to fight in December, maybe after this one. You're not going to get any bigger this year than 2 Taylor Cameron cards, you know what I mean?
As I was going to say, when you sort of looked at the start of the year and you're sort of going, like, the fight on one Katie Taylor card would be going brilliant, but to get in 2, and obviously I was sort of going to touch on the fact that maybe getting a run out between now and then, because you want to obviously go in with a sort of, you want to show your best obviously on the zone, but obviously you want to get a run out first of all to make sure everything's moving in the right direction sort of after May was your last fight. So
yeah.
Is the problem for you, and I know you sort of in some articles with Irish Box and things like that, you're finding it hard to obviously get opponents. Is it hard as they get an opponent because they're seeing what you're doing as a pro, or is it just people get greedy money wise now, sort of, and the opponents you would ideally want, or are people just turning it down for money, or are they just being polite and saying they just no interest?
Personally, I'd say it's a combination of both. Nobody wants to fight a Southpaw to begin with, never mind a Southpaw with 5 out of 6 knockouts, you know what I mean? And then on top of things, the general consensus between everybody is that opponents are getting more expensive, it's costing more, you know what I mean? Obviously the price of living, the bringing opponent, flights, hotels and that, so the overall cost is through the roof in comparison to what it was previously. So it's a combination of both, I would say, to be completely honest. But yeah, the knockouts don't help in trying to get opponents, you know what I mean? They look up a bit of footage on you and all they see is people dropping, hitting the floor. You're probably going to pass and probably hold out for an easier fight.
You sort of maybe look at I remember the Frampton obviously thing. I remember he always struggled to get a fight with Scott Quigg, and then obviously he fought in, I think, Mexico and got dropped twice, and sort of then that led into obviously the Quigg fight and the Santa Cruz fight. Do you sort of nearly have to play devil's advocate and look bad but win to sort of get someone to say yes, I'll fight him?
It's hard. Look, the trajectory I'm on, I'm only early in my career, I'm building all the time. I'm trying to, make a name for myself. That's why I want these flashy performances, big knockouts. So to say then, to turn devil's advocate and kind of, seem a bit more vulnerable in a fight, no, I don't really want to go that route, you know what I mean? I think I'll clash with whoever else is on the same trajectory as me eventually, You can only fight so many journeymen, and you can only fight so many lads as warm-up fights or experienced fights. Sooner or later you're going to have to go in the deep end and test yourself against another fella that's in the same situation as you. There's plenty of prospects, so, sooner or later we find out what I'm made of, yeah.
And I guess when you sort of look at the 25th of November, sort of 6 months on, obviously it's hard to, I guess, replicate, obviously, the last time out, like stunning knockout and everything else. Obviously, you were lucky enough in a way that a fight fell through, it got you bumped up the card. Obviously, hopefully this time around, you're obviously on the main card. Obviously, last time showed it all. But for you, obviously, is it trying to forget now that obviously you fought in the 3 Arena previously so that you can still enjoy them special moments?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, for me, I've said it before in an interview, for me every fight is like my last, because, I put so much into this sport. It'd be devastating. I know everybody says, you can come back from a loss, this, that and the other, but I don't really want to have to experience that, to be completely honest. So, providing all goes well, we get another stunning knockout, and really, stamp my name on the Irish boxing division, and, stamp my name as a household name here in Ireland, and hopefully someone that could headline, in the very, very near future. We're not talking years, we're talking next year. I'd like my own card, you know what I mean? I can't see a reason why not here in Dublin. I think I could sell out the 3 Arena pretty easy with a couple of lads on the undercard. So who knows what the future holds, but I think definitely for November 25th I'm expecting better again, probably, to be completely honest. The way I've been sparring, I've last fought in May 20th, but I've been flat out sparring, flat out training, if anything, I've gone up levels since May 20th without having a fight. So I'm looking forward to November 25th.
And obviously, speaking on the main event, obviously it's so crucial that I guess Carty wins. Obviously, as you're still building up, you sort of have to rely on someone like Carty to help you build your exposure as well. This obviously fight, it's, I guess, without putting too much sort of pressure on Carty, it's must win. You know, like I think nobody can think of anything other than her winning on the 25th of November.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, you hear that an awful lot in boxing, with all these big, like Katie's a generational talent. Like it's a must-win fight. All her fights from the start of a must-wins. The pressure is probably the same. I know it's a bigger event, bigger occasion, but all her fights are must-wins. So yeah, I'm sure Katie's going to do the business hopefully this time round, and you know, right the wrongs. I'm not too sure whether this is at a lower weight. Is it?
It's still 140.
Oh, it's the same weight again.
Yeah.
Okay, well then we'll see how it goes. You know what I mean? But hopefully Katie can right the wrongs and you know, get it back, and then we might even see a third fight then in the new year. I'd be happy enough to box on that one as well.
Do you think it's sort of, you know, coming off? I guess sometimes you've obviously experienced defeat as an amateur, but do you think it maybe a bit less pressure now in Katie? Obviously the first time fighting at home as a professional, she's experienced the 3 Arena and all the emotion that builds. This time around, more people's probably going to write her off to go, Cameron might stop her and things like that. People's thinking that Katie can't win, but obviously that's, I guess, when the chips are down that far, that's obviously maybe going to make an even better performance.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, first time round, can you imagine the pressure that was on Katie? You know, homecoming fight in the biggest fight of her career, obviously. The pressure was crazy. So hopefully this time round it can be slightly different and might, you know, even push things in Katie's favour. You know, the pressure is off. Second fight round, she's been there before. She's done 10 rounds with her before. People forget, like, Katie's the greatest female fighter of all time, regardless of the loss, I think. So you know, power to her. I'm really looking forward to seeing how she boxes on November 25th, and I think she can probably turn it over this time.
Definitely. Well, listen, I know what the press conference is about to start here, so also thank you very much for your time. Hopefully the next time we speak you'll have had a fight in between then. Obviously I think the last couple of interviews we've done, it was like building up for the RDS and obviously now building up for this, so hopefully fingers crossed nothing goes wrong.
Yeah.
And obviously we'll see you back in action here in 8 weeks time.
Absolutely, looking forward to it, pal. Thank you.
Cheers, take care, thank you.